As most of you know, I'm a huge fan of Final Cut Pro 10. It's my video editing app of choice and has been since it launched back in 2011. Just recently, I added a new piece of equipment to my workflow, the Atomos Ninja Assassin. Now, after using it, I can say that it is by far one of the best investments that one who is serious about video can make. It also pairs nicely with my Final Cut Pro 10 workflow. Let me explain. It all starts with ProRes. One of the primary benefits of the Ninja Assassin is that it can record directly to ProRes 422. Now, ProRes is, of course, the intermediate codec used by Final Cut Pro 10. When you optimize video in Final Cut Pro, you're basically converting that footage from whatever codec your camera uses to ProRes 422. Now, some cameras do allow you to shoot directly to ProRes without any add-ons, but that feature is generally reserved for very high-end cameras that cost a lot of coin. Now, editing in ProRes can have some performance advantages, although modern machines do pretty well with editing other codecs like H.264 these days. You might notice moderate improvements in performance gains when applying some of the effects and transitions to a ProRes clip versus something like H.264, but your mileage may vary a bit on that. Now, another benefit is better image quality and color fidelity on the finished product, and that's something I did notice for sure. Now, the Atomos Ninja lets users save 10-bit ProRes 422 directly from the source via HDMI. That's going to, of course, depend on the camera you use and if the camera is capable of outputting that over HDMI. Now, unless you have a very expensive camera, in most cases, I should say, that's going to trump your camera's internal storage capability. For example, my GH4 can only record 8-bit natively, and that's saved using a lesser codec and, of course, saved to a SD card instead of a SSD like with the Atomos Ninja. Now, shooting directly to ProRes means that you no longer have to worry about optimizing the footage that you shoot in post inside Final Cut Pro 10, although most of you probably don't do that anyway, but nonetheless, it can mean better performance. It can even result in better image quality for the final product, even after going through the initial export compression, and even after you go through the additional compression when uploading to YouTube. The bottom line here is that a lot of variables are involved and no one's setup will be completely identical to another, but it's always best if you can to capture as much visual data as possible. And the Atomos Ninja Assassin, when paired together with the right camera, allows you to do just that. It's a 7-inch monitor and more. Not only does the Ninja Assassin work as an excellent direct-to-ProRes recorder, it also features a beautiful high-definition monitor with touchscreen controls. And because the monitor is 7 inches, it's a much better device to view your in-progress footage on than any camera's small built-in monitor. The Ninja runs Atomos as its operating system, and I didn't have to read any manuals or anything to get started. It's just that intuitive. It's easy to use. It's actually a joy to use. Usually you don't associate camera interfaces with being joyful to use, but this is pretty good. And because it works with Final Cut Pro 10, you can even tag portions of your videos with keywords right from the Ninja itself, making it easier on your workflow in post. And once you finish tagging, simply export the XML file and open it in Final Cut Pro 10 to see all of your tag footage. It's pretty cool. Another feature that I'll briefly mention is the ability to load 3D LUTs and view the image on the monitor with a LUT applied, even if you're shooting to a flat log profile on your camera. This makes it much easier to get the right exposure set, and it's just a nicer way to view in-progress footage while still taking advantage of the extra dynamic range afforded by using a log profile on your camera. At under 1K, you really can't go wrong with the Ninja Assassin. Yes, $999 is still a lot of money, and yes, you still will need to purchase a few additional things like an SSD, batteries, docking station, etc. But it's almost like you're getting a supercharger put on your camera. It's breathed new life into my Panasonic GH4 and could probably do the same for a whole lot of different cameras out there. If you're serious about your video workflow, then you'll likely conclude that $999 is a steal for all that the Ninja Assassin brings to the table. Let me know what you think in the comment section. This is Jeff with iDownload Blog.